What's going on, everyone? Justin again. As always, thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. I hope you enjoyed your work day. And it begins. That's right. Here come the warranty jobs. So, as a newly appointed level 1 tech as of the beginning of this week, I have had my fair share of warranty jobs come in. Not just repair-wise, but diagnostically speaking as well. And there's a way big difference between diagnostic times that's approved by the warranty company for the manufacturer and what customer pay jobs would pay, right? Typically, you're given approximately about an hour to diagnose the problem if it's customer pay. And that time frame could extend forward if you can't figure it out within an hour after several tests. But for warranty purposes, they're only going to give you up to a certain amount. I think, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me, but I think it extends up to 0.8 tenths, okay, of an hour. So it's not even a full hour that you have to go through the flow chart, do your tests, and there are several tests that you got to do to get a verifiable answer. And if you go past that, it's whatevs, right? Now, once upon a time ago, they used to have this thing called 0-0 time, which was basically you were allotted, I don't know if it was the technician or the shop, but let's say it was the shop or the dealership, you were allotted so much 0-0 time towards warranty diagnostic claims, so that way, in case you had a job that was really kind of kicking your butt, you could get at least like another hour or so out of it. I think you had like 4 hours for the entire week or month or something like that, that you could toss an extra hour or half hour on for further testing. So if you were spending 3 hours on a job, you could probably get at least 1.8 out of it. I could be mistaken. Things have definitely changed over the last 4.5 years. To include some of the way that the Jeep engines were made. Oh my God, so here I was thinking, cushy cush, you know, I know the 3.6 pretty well. Yeah, except for I have not worked on the newer Jeeps with the turbo on them. What is it, a 2-liter, I think? And there was a fuel line warranty job that I had to do, and my God, they have jam-packed as much as they possibly could in that area, and you were trying to blindly disconnect this line from underneath, and otherwise the whole intake, everything got to come off, right? But if you gave yourself just enough room to reach back in the back and blindly you could feel the push button for the tab and you could slide the tang off and push the push button with a little bit of wiggle and jiggle, you might be able to get it off. I had extreme difficulty trying to get this off, so I did have to ask for some assistance from one of the more senior guys that's been at the Chrysler dealership for a period of time, and he was able to slip it right on off, right? So after about an hour of trying to figure that out myself, I kind of threw in the towel and was like, I got you full access to it. Can you just reach back there and cha-cha? And he did. And I had to have him install it too, because I couldn't quite get the right angle of the dangle, so to speak. But it was an interesting day to say the least. I also did my first heavy line job today, or I would consider it a heavy line-ish, right? Technically a level 3 job. But because I'm kind of in that weird kind of limbo-ish area from level 1 and level 2, so long as I was being mentored or monitored by somebody of level 3, I'm able to do the work. So I was able to pull a rear end out of a Hellcat today. So that was pretty cool. And actually, I had never pulled one before. And I saw a brief video clip of how they dropped it, and I was like, oh, this should be wham bam. And it pretty much was. I think I had just under 1 hour in removing it, and I think for even warranty times, I think it paid like 1.8 or 2. So the fact that I'm keeping up with that time frame is awesome. But the little fuel line that I had to disconnect only paid a half an hour. I did not keep up with that time frame, so we had some time lost, and it's been time lost throughout this whole week, and I'm like, here we go. Here we go. So now it's not the matter of keeping up with the flow of work, but it's keeping up with the types of work. Warranty jobs will, in general, as a dealer tech, they will kick your butt. Okay, they'll, especially the first time you attempt to do it. Now I'm sure after you've had at least a half a dozen to a dozen of these under your belt, you will progressively get faster. You will learn what you have to take off or don't have to take off to get progressively faster. But unfortunately, I'm running into a lot of firsts, and the warranty times still suck. For whatever reason, warranty, now how they depict what a warranty time is they take, I don't know, what is it, like it's a case study of about 100 different techs with hand tools, apparently no cordless, right? No cordless, nothing but hand tools, and by doing it by hand, they feel like the average is this, and so they pay a little bit under the average, and they figure that's sufficient for the warranty because it's the manufacturer having to pay for their own issues that they have with their own products, right? Once it goes outside of warranty, that's what a lot of dealership techs hope for, is that CP pay, right? Because CP pay is usually twice as much as what the warranty time is. So if the average warranty job, let's say for Diag, we were there, right? Says 0.8, and pretty much that's the maximum amount that you can get, but you're on a customer car, and as you're going through it, you might be able to get 2 or possibly even 3 hours if approved by the customer. This is just food for thought, okay? I'm still relatively new at the dealership, so I'm not 100% certain if that's how they do it at this dealership. That's how it was done at previous dealerships, okay? So I don't know how the CP Diag stuff works as of yet. I'm just speculating based off of past experience. Now I know that over at the independent shop, we kind of ate more time than we actually charged. We would really only charge an hour, and most times than not, there was a lot of diagnostic stuff that I had seen Joey doing that would take him 3-4 hours sometimes, but we were dedicated to just charging for the 1 hour. Very rarely would we ask for an additional hour, right? Because we felt like that was like overcharge, you know. We told them that we could try to figure it out within this $1 amount, so that's kind of how that was done. And there were a couple of diagnostic jobs that I had that, you know, I got given the 1 hour for, and I was doing things like, okay, I pulled the code, it was misfire, I swapped coils, that didn't work. I checked plug looked all right or new-ish. I'd go into compression, I'd go into leak down, and all that kind of fell within like a 1, even almost 2 hour kind of time frame of having to chase tails and do all these different things. Especially if the upper intake is on top of 3 spark plugs, right? That can get very interesting very quick, especially with brackets and everything. Or not being able to exactly see the hole, like on that Chevy Venture Adventure where it was like way tucked in back and underneath. Imagine sticking your hand blindly trying to flex a hose to twist it enough to be able to get it started and get it threaded in, so that way you can get a decent compression test. Stuff like this will kick your butt when it comes to Diag stuff. I'm starting to learn this. Warranty jobs, they still don't pay hardly nothing, so you can have a phenomenal week the week before of CP, and then skirt, the brakes just got hit when you end up with nothing but warranty the following week. So you're like, oh, my averages. So you don't want it to be a complete defeater, okay? There were a couple of times that my shop foreman, he goes, not gonna lie, this week you had a couple of those like twitches in your eye where it looked like you weren't exactly upset about what it was that you were working on, but I could definitely tell that you were anxious about it. I was like, yeah, because I was out of time. The clock is a ticking, man. I'm trying to fit it all within the same exact time frame. Obviously, I want to be as efficient as I possibly can. Obviously, we don't want to break things, right? So to be as efficient as I can, but in a timely manner, yeah. As soon as I go past I feel like a dwell period of this is how much time I'm allotted. If it goes past that, the clock is ticking, right? And I'm like, that's the same thing with like trying to find keys, waiting for parts, waiting for approval. Can't find the foreman to find the next RO. So all these different things will eat up your day. I've probably lost a few hours a day this whole week just trying to do those few things. So this week was not as smooth as the first two, I will say that. But and then of course the documentation, we talked about that, right? So the documentation will be another time eater. But overall, yeah, welcome back to warranty and welcome back to the heavy line, right? But it was cool. It was cool to do different stuff. I'm still very excited about what it is that I'm doing. I'm having an enjoyable time. Here was one thing that I kind of stumbled across that we did not know. I say we because this is what I was instructed prior to doing it. So I'm trying to practice for my assessment out of level 2 so I can be officially level 2 again. The only problem was I was under the assumption that I could take the practice test as many times as I wanted to. I was like, cool, because I would like to do that for at least a week before I go and take the actual assessment. Well, I want to say it was Monday that I attempted to take the practice test. I got about 5 or 6 questions deep and I was like, I'm out of time. It's time to go to work. So I logged off, went to work, then came back to it Tuesday or Wednesday, and guess what? Practice test is no longer available. Just found out I only had 1 shot to practice the test, and then I get 1 shot to take the assessment. So, in order to find out whether or not I'm going to have to go to 2 physical courses to get my level 2s back, or 1 physical course to get my levels 2 back, I'm going to have to just go for broke. I'm going to have to just take the assessment, not being familiarized with any of the updated questions that I'm going to be having to take when I take the assessment. And they don't tell you which ones is wrong as you're checking through them. It tells you at the end when you hit submit score. And I think if it's below 80%, I have to go to the physical course. So I think I'll save that stressor for Saturday. That's kind of like my goal. So instead of worrying and concerning myself about it, I think I'm just going to focus on the hours at hand. I have about 15 hours that I have to make up for that I lost. Because so there's another thing too. If you slide into the overtime, that can count against you for your productivity time because you've had to stay longer to try to complete certain jobs. Sometimes it's worth it to stay longer to get the jobs done to help benefit your productivity time. Other times it's better just to clock off early to save your productive time to come back to it with a fresh slate the next day. But yeah, so I'm about 15 hours off, I think, from being close to 100%, but I could be mistaken. I was looking at my hours for this week so far, and I have that's hours that wasn't counted today, which wasn't very many, and then tomorrow's an empty day. And I wasn't even really at the halfway mark, the 50% mark. So we a little bit stressed, right? Because I'm like, great, so I've got to make up about 15 to 20 hours-ish, about 15 hours, because I think I had like 5 today. I got to make up about 15 hours in one day. So we're just rubbing our hands and crossing our fingers for a smooth day tomorrow, maybe some gravy kickdowns, maybe some of the upsells that I have this laundry list of cars for, I can get started and bang out some of that stuff so I can be in the money. But if I don't, well, we gave it our strongest, most best effort, and that's all you can ask of yourself, okay? I know some guys beat themselves up because they can't get to a certain amount of hours completed within a pay cycle. It's okay. As long as you are focused on trying to get as much done in a given day as you possibly can, that's all that you can ask of yourself. And if you're lucky and you can hit certain productivity levels and get to that higher echelon pay, great. But if you didn't, hey, you tried. And that means you got to try again the next pay period and the next one, because you'll get progressively faster as time goes on. I can't beat myself up because this week did not go as swimmingly as we would hope, okay? But we are only into our 3rd week here at the dealership. So I'm not going to beat myself up about it if we don't hit it. I'm very proud and excited of how far that I've come along over the years of wrenching between past dealer life and independent shop life, and what it is that I've been able to accomplish in a very short window of time now being back to the dealer. And that sense of pride I can hang my hat on, okay? I'm very proud of everything that I've been doing. I'm very excited about the future and what it is that I got to look forward to here with the diagnostic stuff. I want to say thank you to every single one of you that have been watching today's content and prior content. I love the comments that we saw in last video. Again, if you guys are not already subscribed, make sure to be a bud and grab some suds. You can do so by tapping that little beer mug in the bottom right-hand corner. We appreciate it because making you a subscriber is pretty awesome, man. We love having subscribers on the channel. You guys give more feedback. We love the comments, okay? Lots of stories out there. Lots of guys with different experience. Lots of guys that have been in different areas of this trade and other trades. Aviation, diesel, heavy equipment like tractors and bulldozers, even down to our small engine guys. And then we got our dealer techs and independent techs. We even got lube techs on the channel. So I love it. All the feedback is great. especially when you guys share your experiences, which I appreciate. I know that somebody else does too. I can tell because they hit that little thumbs up on your guys' comments, and you see them go just about as much a thumbs up on your comment as the video. So that's good stuff. So make sure to keep doing that. Alright guys, that's all I got for today's video. Hit the thumbs up on the way out the door, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for TGIF. Cheers and deuces.